TIFU by not realizing I was the reason everything smelt like cat wee. My uncle had a stroke a few years back and was left unable to look after his ragdoll cat anymore. No one in the family was willing to take her, so she moved in with me and my 2 dogs. To put it lightly, she's a jerk. She spent her whole life in an apartment with a single guy with no friends, so she was not happy moving in with me, who's much more social. We renamed her Susan, as she will be a jerk when people come round and always go and complain to the manager, aka me. She's gotten better and now allows others to pet her, but she still hates it when people come round. I hosted Christmas at my house this year, which resulted in all my little cousins constantly trying to give her pats. She tolerated it but was not happy. I've woken up hungover Boxing Day, it's hot as hell, Australia, and grabbed a dress off the floor to wear while binging season 2 of You all day on the couch. Everywhere I've gone in the house I've constantly gotten whiffs of cat pee. I've complained to my partner, who can't smell it, lit candles, deodorized the rug etc, but cannot find the source. About 8 PM that night I found the source. It was me. The jerk of a cat had peed on my dress and I'd been wearing it all day, complaining about the smell that seemed to be following me around. TL, Dr. Cat weed on my dress. I wore it and spent the whole day trying to find the source of the smell. It was me. I have a ragdoll cat. I feel your pain. I always thought ragdoll cats were supposed to be super chill. Aren't they literally bred to be docile and friendly? I once went to sleepaway camp in like the 4th grade and couldn't figure out why my sleeping bag smelled so bad. It wasn't until the last day that I realized it was cat piss. We kept the sleeping bags in the garage, and who knows how long prior to camp the cat had peed on it. It was horrific. Oh god, I feel for you. I've always had dogs and their pee doesn't really smell. Cat pee is a new kind of hell. Never she's been in a room I constantly check the beds for smell. As someone who volunteer at a cat shelter, this happens to me way too often. I once changed and washed all our garbage cans, which is a lot, only to find out I was the smell. Damn it. BTW vinegar in the wash really helps getting rid of the smell. Clean it up with a mix of 500 ml of peroxide and 125 ml of baking soda mixed in 3 liters of water with a few drops of liquid soap. Mix in a bucket, not a bottle, because it will foam. Soak the pee spots with that mixture and let sit 10 to 15 minutes. Scrub and rinse well, soak up with clean rags until the spot is dry. Be used in the washing machine on washable clothes too. Just soak for 30 minutes after filling the washer like normal. Getting her to quit pooping in the bathtub is easy. Just leave enough water in it at all times to cover the bottom of the tub. She'll jump in it a few times, and once she's used to there always being water in it, she'll stop hopping in. Edit: I totally converted those amounts for the peroxide mix from Murican to Strayan for you. Smiley face. I butternut up, I'm the butternut. TL, doctor at the bottom of course, because this is a zucchini journey. Also, I live in New Zealand where the legal drinking age is 18, so all perfectly legal. Now that all that BS is out of the way, here is my cheesecake up. The butternut up happened in July of 2018, but to get the full scope of things we must travel back in time to May of 2017. I'm in year 12, junior year for you Americans, and it's the night of my school ball. Both year 12 and 13, seniors, can go. I'm going with my then girlfriend, who we will call Jay. So me and Jay had been dating for about 15 months at this point. It was my first serious relationship, as serious as a high school relationship can be. So the night of the ball, Jay decides to host a pre-ball at her place for us and all her friends and their dates. Mostly as a chance for them to get a bunch of photos while their hair and makeup is still looking good. I was looking forward to this as I was quite friendly with everyone in their group and most of their dates were from my friend group, so it wouldn't get boring while the girls all took their photos. Now, I would be lying if I said that there was no trouble in paradise in terms of that relationship. It was apparent that feelings were fading and we were growing apart, and not in a healthy way. She began to spend a lot of time with one of her friends, let's call him E, and would often message him while I was at her house. I also became relatively good friends with her best friend at the time, we'll call her M. This would lead to fights as both of us became more distant, jealous, insecure etc. But I decided to put all that aside aside for this night because it was her first ball and I wanted it to be perfect for her. Well, both Em and E were at the pre-ball as each other's dates. I played nice with E as I didn't want any hostility to get in the way of anyone's fun, but the tension was palpable. We eventually head to the ball and things were great. We all grab a table and take in the atmosphere. The theme was Great Gatsby, so everyone was looking very dapper. As the night develops, we start dancing and enjoying ourselves. I'm not much of a dancer, so I head back to the table and relax. I kick up a conversation with Em and eventually we start talking about my relationship. I tell her how things are going and then she points to the dance floor where J and D were getting pretty close. Me in my infinite maturity let her have her fun and think nothing of it, of course. Zucchini psych. I got pissed off, start essentially yelling to Em that my relationship was BS and that I was sick of this cheesecake, which I think frightened her a little. Start to storm to the dance floor and she, to no avail, attempts to stop me. I was on a warpath. I get over there and give a relatively gentle shove to let him know to back off. Naturally, he responds with a shove of his own and then I start to get in his face. I'm about 6 feet 3 inches and he is about 5 feet 9 inches, so I'm looking down on him with the wrath of God in my eyes. Jay gets between us and breaks things up. He then proceeds to get mad at me for being overprotective, so I decide the best thing to do is just leave before I do something I regret. I get outside the venue and start taking some deep breaths to calm myself down from the adrenaline. Em comes out about a minute or so later and starts to comfort me. She walks up to me and gives me the warmest hug I had ever felt, and as soon as her arms were around me I burst into tears. We decide to take a walk down the road under the lights so I can calm down, etc. Shortly after I decide to leave with Em while the others headed off to and after ball. Em's parents drop me home and I head straight to my room and straight to sleep. The next morning I wake up to a bunch of messages from Jay that amount to a full essay about how I'm a jealous, overprotective ass, very true at the time, and that she wants to break up. She accused me of cheating on her with Em and told me I was a hypocrite, etc, etc. I respond with the only appropriate response to such a message. Okay. I proceeded to call Em to let her know what happened because at that point she was the only person I thought I could turn to. I tell her that I'm fine and that I was already emotionally checked out of the relationship. Banana lie. She then tells me that Jay had messaged her too that morning saying that she was a coconut. Em is like a coconut angel BTW, literally the most innocent and wholesome person I have ever met, and exclaiming that she didn't care because she had been coconutty the whole time. Shocker, right? Well, it was news to me. I knew that there was something developing there, but I never thought she would act on it until we had broken up. This zucchini me up big time. For about a year, I was pretty depressed, not eating properly, my grades dropped hard. I went from an excellence student to just scraping achieved in pretty much everything. Americans, that's like going from straight A's to C, but Em stuck with me through it all. He was always there, no matter how bad I got, no matter how dark my thoughts got, she was always just a phone call away. Well, let's fast forward to the night you're all here for. My 18th birthday party. Well, that day me and one of my friends, we'll call him F, go to the bottle store and get about $100 worth of drinks. For those interested, we got a bottle of Jim Beam White Label, 24 box of Corona and a liter bottle of Jaeger, for us to share. Now this year, I wasn't really in the mood for any sort of party, so F said he would host it at his place and take care of the guests, etc, etc. While we were out I told him about these feelings that I've started to develop for Em. I tell him that I think I'm falling in love with her and start gushing about how amazing she is. I know, butternut cringe. It's at that point that he gives me a rundown of the guest list and guess who's coming. That's right, Em. Well, butternut. We get back from the store and there's about 3 hours before everyone is set to arrive, so I decide to get ready. I change into what can only be described as a questionable at best party outfit, and me and F decide to kill time by getting a head start on the drinking. We get through about 6 of the Coronas each before the first people start to arrive, so we've both got a pretty good buzz going. All the guests start to trickle in and almost as if it was a scene in a movie, Em is the last to arrive and she looks banana stunning. stunning. I give her a hug as soon as she comes in and she immediately smells the alcohol on my breath, exclaiming, well, someone's got a head start on us. Now, like I said, she's an angel, very innocent and very much not a drinker. Me on the other hand, well, I'm a binge drinker. Me and F go drink for the next few hours, getting through about half of the Jim Beam and Jaeger bottles with a couple more Coronas to top it all off. Now, as you could all expect, I blacked the coconut out that night and remember next to nothing else from that night. Next day, I wake up on me friend's back lawn, about midday, still a little drunk with the worst headache I've ever experienced. Well, second, but that's a story for another time. I stumble inside and see the state of my friend's living room. Not great. He soon emerges from his room and we start to clean up last night's aftermath. After about an hour of digging, I uncover my phone and am greeted with a number of missed calls and texts that read along the lines of, hey, can we meet up today? We need to talk. And guess who they're from? Yup, M. So I respond with yeah, of course, where and when. She replies with McDonald's in an hour. I rush off to jump in the shower, take some ibuprofen and tidy myself up. I get to McDonald's about 15 minutes late. Of course, M is already there and doesn't look exactly thrilled to see me. I cautiously walk over to her table, sit down and say, hey, what's up? She quietly responds with, you really don't remember? I respond with something along the lines of, look, I don't remember much about last night, so if I did or said anything to hurt you, I am so sorry. She seems to calm down and responds with the coldest okay that I have ever heard. I keep asking what happened, but she never gives me a clear answer. Fearing the worst, I rush back to F's house and ask him what happened. He tells me that late in the night, when things had started to die down, we had started a good old game of truth or dare and that I, in all drunken glory, had / told M that she the most attractive girl I knew, / told M that I wanted to zucchini her, / asked if she would like to cheesecake me, / tried to kiss her on multiple occasions. Upon hearing this, I immediately try to call M, no answer. Leave her about a dozen texts, apologizing profusely and asking her to call me back so we can talk. For the next few months she avoided me at school and wouldn't respond to my texts. To make matters worse, whenever I went out drinking I would end up drunk texting her at the end of the night about how I'm sorry and miss her, which I can only imagine made things worse. Eventually we were able to become friends again, but it was never the same, and as of writing this, I haven't heard from her in about 8 months. I don't think she'll see this, but if you do, I'm so zucchini sorry. M. TL, doctor, went through a pretty bad breakup that coconut me up pretty bad. Female friend helped me through my teenage depression for more than a year. Developed pretty serious feelings for her, got blackout drunk at my 18th birthday party and proceeded to cheesecake up the best friendship I've ever cheesecake had. By binge drinker I don't mean I drink often, just that when I do, I drink a lot. Haven't been drunk since like February and I've only drunk texted her like 2 or 3 times. I'm not looking for sympathy here, I don't deserve it. I butternut up, I'm the butternut. Just trying to vent. Well, I read through the whole thing and tried to think of a witty comment or joke to make you feel slightly better, but I'm sorry man, I got nothing. Hope things smooth over for you. Frown. I noticed one of these. Frown. So here, take this. D. Don't be that guy from the past that clings on after months/years to ounce of relationship. They're incredibly annoying and it's quite conflicting to be on the receiving end of that. On one hand, you want to be nice to him since he's a good guy who just made poor choices. On the other, you want him to stop contacting you when he's drunk. Please don't impose that on her, even if your intentions are honorable. I'm not trying to be. In the past year I haven't texted her without her first texting me. Trust me, I hate guys that do that too, so that's the last thing I'm trying to do. Honestly, the point of this post was just to make an attempt of getting all my zucchini ups of the last year off my chest so I can try to forget about her and everything. I really do appreciate what you're trying to say though. Hazards of being a binge drinker. Ouch. When I first saw the title I thought this was going to be funny in some way, but this just hurts badly. This is really one of the worst kinds of pain there is, and it sucks that you have to feel it. This is easier said than done, but just try to see the possibility of that kind of relationship in other people you meet. I really wish you the best of luck, man, and remember that even if some of that pain may never disappear, it's not forever. I know these aren't the words someone in your position would want to hear, but you need to stop drinking so much. You put that potential relationship in a coffin, and every drunk text since then is another nail in the coffin. She won't consider dating you knowing how often you get drunk and how bad you can get when you get drunk. Sorry, I'm sure you're a fun drunk to hang out with, though a non-drinker is not looking for that. Haven't been drunk since February. Also I agree, every chance of any kind of relationship with her is dead, so really I'm just trying to get my thoughts out of my own head so I can forget about her. TIFU by not looking at instructions for my Xbox. My brother got me an Xbox for Christmas. I was very excited cause I've always had PlayStations and wanted to play the Halo Master Chief Collection. I rushed home and set up the system. Today I got Call of Duty so I could play with my friends. I put the disc in and it wouldn't download. I looked online and did some troubleshooting. Still wasn't working. Called my brother who worked at GameStop and he told me to go to the closest one to me and ask them for help. The GameStop employee did some troubleshooting and tells me I put the game in upside down. I start to correct them and say there's no way that's possible when a thought hits me. I ask which way side is up on the Xbox. They inform me and immediately I realized my error. Doctor, I set up my Xbox upside down and didn't realize until I was in front of line of people at GameStop. Just ignore those feet sticking out on top and the loud whirring of the fan that can't breathe. Just need to do a quick 180-degree no-scope on that there disc. Give me back the last 5 seconds of my life I just wasted. Me too. With that title I expected the post to be about how he used the Xbox to fry a burrito. You need to do an Xbox 180. Lol bro, there is a sticker with letters. Maybe you miss the fan, maybe you miss the legs, but you are clearly capable of reading English. You all have blonde moments. I get it.